Hi, I'm Crystal,
And I'm Karin.
and you're listening to the Rom-Com Detectives. Welcome to Rom-Com Detectives, episode 43, Control Freak, the next episode in our Mentalist unit. Today, Karen and I will be breaking down the 18th episode of the first season called Russet Potatoes.
This episode originally aired on March 31st, 2009. It was written by Ashley Gable and directed by Norberto Barba.
So, just a quick thing. When I saw his name, I got really excited because I mostly know him from Law and Order SVU. He
Oh,
directs a
fun.
lot of he directs a lot of the episodes in that. So okay, before we get to the episode breakdown and a case briefing, quick TV police update. So this week the guest on the TV police is me.
Hooray!
Yay! So I got to do this a couple weeks ago. I recorded with Tim and Owen, and yeah, the episode just came out this week. As of this recording, it just came out today, but when this episode is published, it'll be earlier in the week. But yeah, I mean, it was it was so much fun. I got to talk to them for almost 2 hours. Lots of fun, lots of laughing, and oh my god, I was really nervous going into it, but they're really easy to talk to and they're really fun to hang out with. So I think it turned out great. And without spoilers, I was able to give them gifts, and then I got to watch them open it while we recorded. So that was really fun. So
So fun.
be sure to check that out, and make sure you watch the video version too, because then you can see what I gave them. They were really happy with it.
Yeah, I listened to most of it. I haven't watched it yet, but I listened to most of it, and it just sounded so good. Like you guys were really having a fun time.
Yeah, I haven't listened to all of it. I listened to some of it while I was taking my son to school. But actually, speaking of him, I call him my little dude in Discord because he's my little mentalist watch buddy. He's watched the show almost two times all the way through, and he's 11 years old. But he got to meet them too, so that was nice.
So cool.
Yeah. So yeah, let's go into the case briefing. Was there anything in the DVD booklet?
Yes, according to the wonderful DVD booklet writer, hypnosis and homicide. An innocent schlub under the influence thinks the corpse he's lugging around is a sack of potatoes.
So, do you feel like they named this episode thinking, how can we put red into this episode? So they decided
Yes,
let's make it a sack of potatoes.
I definitely get those vibes sometimes.
So yeah, this one takes place in Sacramento, and like we just said, that's why the episode was called Russet Potatoes. The victim and cause of death, her name is Mary Beth Hendricks, and she died to a gunshot wound to the head.
The CBI is involved because the case is brought right to their doorstep. They walk right into
Literally.
the to the foyer of the CBI.
The killer in this one, I put Rick Tiegler slash Lindsay Hendricks because I think he actually did kill her, right?
You know, I
It's not clear,
I
right?
don't know. It's really not.
Because yeah, I don't think they actually. Now that I think about it, they don't really address that because they don't show them interviewing her about how the actual murder happened. But I mean, we can talk about this later, but she seems kind of vindictive, so I feel like maybe
Oh my
she's the only
goodness.
killer.
Yeah. I think so. But yeah, as you say, they don't really spell it out this week.
Motive was love and jealousy. Guest stars. Okay, so the guy who played the guy Carl Resnick who brought in the sack of potatoes slash the victim, his name is Chris Tallman. I thought that was funny because he is really big. He's from the Thundermans, Reno 911. And then there was Bodie Elfman. He played Rick Tiegler. He actually looks really familiar to me, but I wasn't sure why. But I guess I must have seen him on Criminal Minds, and he's also been on Rizzoli and Isles. Then there was Wynn Everett. She played Lindsay. She's from Agent Carter, The Newsroom, and more recently Chad Powers, which I think is currently airing on Hulu. I'm not sure. I see the thumbnail for that whenever I'm on Hulu. And then finally, there's Alistair Mackenzie. He played Royston Daniel when he's from Dracula and Andor. I don't remember who he was in Andor, although I only watched season one. Did you watch both seasons, or did you
No, I've
watch the
only
show?
watched the first season.
And then he was on The Crown too. So, all right, Jane's skills in the episode: cold reading and hypnotism. Okay, let's get into episode breakdown. It starts with a man hauling a large sack of something down the street. And he's mumbling to himself. And then we go to the CBI entrance, and the team is waiting in line to get in. And I wanted to ask you, do you think that they have to do this every day
Every
to get
time?
into the office? Because it just seemed kind of restrictive and like kind of a pain in the
Yeah,
butt.
and very crowded. Like,
Yeah.
that was a long line. It's like, who are these people?
Yeah, like why don't they have a special line for agents so that they can rush in, right?
Right?
Like, well, if they have to go back to the office, doesn't that get kind of tedious if they have to go through the metal detector every time? Because like they're in the same line as some random lady who's having an affair and allergic to perfume.
Right? And yeah, it puts a different perspective on, when they're bringing everyone back to the CBI and all the drive time, you also have to add the going through the foyer time,
Yeah, yeah. I feel like maybe this was possibly just set up so that they could have this scene.
right?
Why would they be
And
waiting in the lobby?
when you think back also to, like, Bloodshot, when you have Van Pelt's boyfriend, like, he had to go through that
Hmm.
security,
Maybe
supposedly.
they implemented this because of that.
There you go, there you go, it's a new thing they're trying.
Oh, that guy made so much trouble for the CBI now. But so they're in line, and like I guess Jane is making a game of like having them guess about people. He's cold reading them, and Cho guesses that the lady in red is allergic to perfume because she sneezes. She has a very dainty sneeze too. But Jane says no, she's having an affair. And they're like, what? And he starts to explain, but then he gets interrupted by the guy dragging in his sack of potatoes. So what do you think he was about to say?
Oh goodness, there's
Because he says
really
she has a
has a part.
peculiar,
Yeah,
and then that's it.
yeah, I don't know. All we got is, yeah, she's wearing kind of a skimpy red outfit and she sneezes. Maybe he just knows it's California, so every other
Everyone
person's
has
having an affair.
affairs. Okay, but so the guy is dragging. He had been carrying it like over his shoulder, right? And
Yeah,
then
dragging and
then he
hoisting it,
drags
yeah.
it in, and there's blood all over the floor. So I was like, where was the blood when he was on the street? Was it like dripping off? Was it like, or was it just soaked in the thing, and that's why it was on the floor?
Yeah, it's not evident. There is, like, a couple of, like, when he's walking through this crowded streets, there are a couple people who give him a second look,
Uh huh.
but I don't think they really bring the blood into it until he's at the
Yeah.
CBI.
But yeah, so they draw their guns on him, and Joel handcuffs him, and Jane looks at him, and he says that he's hypnotized. The guy starts rambling about how there's more than one in the bag, and eventually he reveals that he thinks that he's brought in a sack of potatoes to them, and so
As a gift.
yeah,
"I
so
I brought you a gift. Why are you so upset?"
but Joe brings it up in the interrogation room, like in the next scene. He's like, "Why did you bring us potatoes, not donuts?" Like stopping to think about it now, yeah, like why did she have this guy deliver her sister to the CBI like this? And like why use that guy? Was
Mhm.
she mad at that guy Carl, or for some reason they don't establish that either? Because she was mad at Dr. Daniel. She didn't like Rick Tiegler, so she must have had some kind of problem with this Carl guy too to make him like part of her
I
plan.
I think they made this part a little bit clearer, that this is Tiegler who recruited Carl. That was his
Hmm.
part in it. He kind of woke up and saw
Oh,
this dead
okay.
body, and so he used Carl to, so that's Carl's
Oh.
piece. So I don't know why Tiegler would want to send the body to the CBI.
Okay, okay. Okay, that makes more sense. You're saying that like this hypnotism of Carl was like an offshoot and not something that she did.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. It's like pyramid
Oh my
hypnotism.
goodness, it is so confusing trying to unravel how everyone is involved in this case.
Yeah, it's really complicated. I can't imagine like having to write something like this. It sounds so complicated. Uh, but I thought it was interesting that Cho shows him the picture of the dead girl, of the body, and he looks
Mhm.
at it and he still sees potatoes.
Potatoes. Yeah, I agree. I would think that the suggestion would be for the
The
bag
bag, yeah,
and
yeah,
not the body.
yeah. So I guess he must have been hypnotized to just look at her face and see potatoes, not necessarily just her. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of crazy. I hope I'm never hypnotized. Who knows what I'll do? Probably throw away all my yarn and I'll wake up and be like, where'd
No,
everything go?
that would be against your nature.
Yes, that's true. Oh, okay, I'm safe. But Rigsby says that the guy is crazy, but Jane says that hypnotism is just connecting the imagination and that your mind will accept whatever your imagination creates. So that's why he can believe so strongly that this woman is actually just a bag of potatoes. I like that Lisbon comes in and is like, hypnotism is what you use against my orders. But I thought it was interesting that he mentions that he hypnotized Benelli to get him to stop smoking. I've always liked that. I
Yeah.
think he helps two people in the show stop smoking, right? One is the auntie of a girl in a later episode. But Jane explains that you can't be hypnotized into doing something against your true will. So if the guy Carl didn't actually want to kill a girl, he didn't do it, and he's being framed. And then so they leave the room, and then outside, Van Pelt walks up with a file on Carl, but before she can give them the scoop that she has, he's like, "Oh, he sells stuff." And I like the descriptions he uses because Lisbon asks, "How do you know that?" And she's like, "He's well mannered, a little overgroomed, and too badly dressed to be gay." But he says this makes him a perfect subject because he's malleable. But I thought it was funny that, like, given what happens later in the episode, does that mean Jane thinks that Rigsby is well mannered, overgroomed, and too badly dressed to be gay? The way that Rigsby looked this whole episode was really spot on. He just looked very innocent, right?
Mhm.
He had like this perfect subject look on his face throughout the episode.
He's trying so hard in this episode just to understand and to fit in, and yeah, I think they make him a perfect mark.
Very malleable. But Lisbon wants to know if he can bring the guy out of it. And he says that without knowing the trigger, it's gonna take forever. He says it's like playing in the Atlantic and then it'd take too long and she'd get all pruny, which is a line that both me and Karen like. So Rigsby brings the ID of the victim and says that his sister is on the way from the airport. I guess she was on the trip. And then it cuts to later. They're talking to the sister, Lindsay, and she identifies her sister. So she was traveling to San Francisco for work. The sister Lindsay works at a place called the Model Life Center, and this becomes like the central point that they go
Mhm.
to throughout the episode. So her boss says that the guy that she works for does NLP seminars, which stands for Neuro Linguistic Programming. And I thought that was funny because I just did an episode on Lucifer with Tara, and that's the excuse that Amenadiel uses to explain Lucifer's gift to Chloe. It was
Oh,
neuro
nice.
linguistic programming, so I thought that was amazing. So Lindsay mentions that she works for Dr. Daniel, and Jane actually seems to know who he is. He recognizes his name. He
Mhm.
says he's one of the preeminent hypnotherapists in the country. And then I want to make a small note before we move on that there are some things in Lisbon's desk. There's a baseball in a display case, although I didn't see a signature on it, so it just looks like a clean baseball. And then she's got a photo of a dog. But I don't think we ever see a dog with Lisbon ever, right? It looks like a golden retriever or some kind of dog like
Okay.
that.
No,
But
I in the last season, there's a picture of her as a girl with a dog, but
uh
nothing else, uh-uh.
The only interaction she has with the dog is with LaRoche's dog.
Right.
Okay, so next we have Cho informing Carl that Mary Beth is dead, and the guy can't believe it because apparently he knew her from the center because he's taking this Dr. Daniels NLP course. And Mary Beth was helping him with some things he was struggling with, and he just is really broken up. He can't believe that. He still doesn't believe that he brought her dead body into the CBI. And I mean, I feel bad for the guy because I mean, can you imagine being told something like this? You just kind of like become aware you're in like some state agency, and they're like,
Yeah, that would be
"Dude, why'd you bring a dead body?" And we're like, you'd be like, "Huh?"
what are you talking about? I brought you potatoes. That is a lot of potatoes, though.
Yeah. And you're being like questioned by Joel, who's like, "Why'd you bring us potatoes?"
Why didn't you bring us donuts?
So they're gonna head over to this Model Life Center, and Jane insists that they should take Carl. So they get there and they see like the catchphrase, it's "get what you want from whoever you want." And Lisbon makes a snarky remark about their bad grammar because I didn't realize she's so pedantic. For people who don't know, it's supposed to be "get what you want from whomever you want." So that's what she's referring to. But Rigsby scoffs at it, and he's like, "Scam." And he says this a few times in the episode, "Scam," which is funny because he ends up being the victim.
Right?
It's totally not a scam, apparently.
Can you imagine, though, if it had been Lisbon who had been hypnotized?
Oh my god.
Oh, that would have been so fun.
So Lisbon orders Rigsby and Carl to stay outside, and she and Jane are going to go in to see Dr. Daniel. So they go inside, and a fake guy is giving the talk, and then the real Dr. Daniel comes out and triggers him out of his trance. I guess he had hypnotized this guy and told him to go out there and pretend to be me and start my lecture. Yeah. And I think this is why Jane gets so he looks so giddy, right? He's like
Yeah.
so excited. He's like bounding down the stairs and he's clapping and everything. I think he just liked the showman aspect of what the guy did to start his lecture, which was
Yeah.
cute. But then he gets down to business and he's like, "Hey, we need to talk." But when he doesn't want to, he's like he just goes straight to it. He's like, "Your assistant is dead." Right in front of everybody.
I know.
It's so funny because I guess in Jane's mind, he's like, "Well, I'm gonna give him the nice, courteous option, but I know he's probably not gonna take it, so I'm gonna embarrass the heck out of him right
Right?
after."
Well, he just started this presentation, and
I
it's oh
know
my goodness, just to interrupt him at all is
it would be so rude, like to normal
right?
people,
Yes.
right?
Yes. And Jane is just yeah, he's being a kind of a puppy here, just like, "Hey, let's you're so good. Let's get out of here and talk."
And he's also being like, "Hey, why don't you want to talk to me?" It's like, dude, he's in the middle of something.
"I'm a little busy here," he says.
It's so Patrick Jane. Oh my goodness. So he asks his assistant Rick Tiegler to take over while he goes and talk to them. And then when they're outside, Jane is kind of pushy. He literally pushes Carl and Dr. Daniel together so that they can look into
Yes.
each other's eyes.
Oh, awkward.
I know. It's like very in personal space for other people. But Lisbon tells Rigsby to go with Jane to talk to Dr. Daniel, and she's going to take Carl back into the seminar because I guess because they've Jean has figured out that it's not Dr. Daniel who hypnotized him. It must be someone else inside. So that's why she wants to take him inside. So Rigsby asks to use Dr. Daniel's office and they head upstairs, but Jane says he's going to catch up and then he just kind of innocently waits around. So why did he do that? Why did he want to
He
have the delayed entrance?
I wondered that too, 'cause it's actually not in the script. He doesn't
Ah,
have that delay. So I think though, based on his body language, that he wants to 'cause okay, it's a way to have more power in the
mm,
situation because Rigsby goes in and just sits down so that
yeah.
they're sitting across from each other at the desk, which is, equal footing. But when Jane comes in, he doesn't sit down and he stays, standing so he can kind of tower over.
And I feel like from the time that he recognized his name, they're kind of implying that Jane feels competitive against this guy because
Yeah.
they're both skilled
Yeah.
hypnotists. And you kind of get more of that when he walks around the room, he like mocks his picture on his book, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so I
Like,
think it's a power balance thing. He's trying
hmm,
to remain in power.
hmm.
And I get yeah, psychology.
So while they're talking to him, though, the guy, Dr. Daniel, starts getting worried that he needs a lawyer, and he explains that NLP can help anybody. And then Lindsay comes in, and this scene is actually kind of crucial, even though it seems kind of mundane at the time you're watching it. But I mean, he's surprised to see her, and he tells her that she should go home and grieve her sister. And after she leaves, Jane is like, "Take care of you." That's the smoothest blow off I've heard all day. And I was kind of like surprised by that because I
Yeah,
had actually thought he sounded kind of nice and sincere. I don't know, what did you think?
I agree. I think it would be a natural thing to say to an employee
Yeah.
who just lost their sister, but it hinges on it later in the episode also
Yeah. Yeah.
that she felt that blow off.
That's what pisses her off, right? So I
Yeah.
guess her and Jane are on the same wavelength. They both took that a very different way. But I there was this little scene in this part that I really liked when Dr. Chen says, "There's nothing wrong with wanting to sell people stuff or make them like you more." And Jane goes, "Nah." It's kind of like a callback to what he used to do. But he had made like a snarky comment earlier too, right before they got to the center. He was like, when Lindsay was explaining what NLP is and what they do at the center, he said something like influencing people to do what you want them to do doesn't sound as good or something like that. So you could tell that he doesn't have a very high opinion of what they do at the center, I guess.
Yes.
So next we go back to the seminar where the guy Rick Tiegler is amping the crowd up, and Carl is really getting into it. But then when the guy Rick sees Carl, he gets scared and he just literally just runs out. Not very subtle about it, but
No. I'll be right back.
then he just sprints out of there. That's not suspicious at all. But Lisbon has to chase him, so she handcuffs Carl to the railing in that lecture hall. This
So
poor guy.
that's 2 sets of handcuffs right there.
Yeah, because he's
He's
already
already
handcuffed,
wearing
right?
cuffs. Yeah.
And then she gives chase, and wow, so the guy tried to run up to the second floor instead of out the front door, which I was like, why would he do that? Because we get to see the layout later when Van Pelt is talking to him, right? The doors are right that way, but he goes upstairs.
Up the stairs. Maybe he was, like, heading for his office where he knows he can lock the door or
Or
something?
maybe the entrance to the parking lot is up there. I don't
I
know.
mean, I don't know.
He knows the center better than us. But oh my god, he trips and she tackles him, and that comes back later too. The way that she tackles him, and
Yep.
Jane jokingly repeats back the what was it? The phrase "Get what you want from
You want
whoever you want."
yep.
And I like the
You
way
got what you wanted.
I like the way he hits Rigsby on the chest, and he looks like, "Why'd you just hit me?" But at the CBI, Cho is questioning. Cho is like mostly at the CBI this episode for some reason. He doesn't go out with everybody else. But the guy won't talk about Carl. He's actually really fidgety and saying he's under a lot of stress. And I didn't really understand. Like, I feel like stuff got cut here because Cho had like seemed to have like this specific scenario in his mind
Yeah.
about him being a drunk. So I guess maybe they had gone over like some kind of history he has with alcohol or something that we didn't get to see. Because he seems pretty set on the scenario that Rick killed Mary Beth while drunk. And like the guy admits that he went to a bar and had a few
A
dozen drinks.
dozen?
And I was like, don't bartenders usually cut you off when you start drinking? Maybe at the first dozen.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
But he says that he woke up at 5 a.m. and he was standing over her body in her living room with a gun in his hand. He was very calm, which Jane later brings up as very suspicious. But I mean, he does confess because Cho asked him, "Did you kill Mary Beth?" He's like, "I guess I did," which I don't know. It's kind of a weak confession in my mind.
Yeah,
I
I would say
I
so. I
guess.
mean, he says he smells the powder.
Hmm.
So would that mean it had just happened?
I don't know. Yeah. So that like brings up the question again. Like, right, did he do it or did she do it and just convince him that he did it? Right.
So double checking the script, Jane does give a little summary that Lindsay killed her sister to get to
Hmm.
Daniel. And then when Daniel rejected her, she tried to make Rigsby kill Daniel.
Hmm. So he also admits that he was partnered with Carl at the center during the course and that he was put him under a couple of times and that it always gets easier after that. So I guess that's like what you said, like the whole pyramid
Yeah.
hypnotism thing. He This was his own victim and that's who he went to after he woke up thinking that he killed this lady.
Yeah. What's the best way to get rid of a body? Have somebody else take it to the authorities.
It doesn't look good for him because he tells Cho that he had just asked her out and she said no way in hell, right? So and
Yeah.
then that's like pretty good motive there, like feeling jilted. So next we go back to the Model Life Center. Lisbon has finished interviewing students. Rigsby has been interviewing teachers, and he's sitting in a conference room with Carl and talking about Rigsby being malleable. I don't think I don't think the guy Carl is very
Advanced?
he doesn't seem like he's a skilled hypnotist at all, but
No.
apparently he's a salesman, right? So he's
Uh-huh.
apparently been pitching NLP to Rigsby pretty hard because when Lisbon sits down, he's very unsubtly like copying all her motions and she notices and she's like, "What the hell are you doing?" Apparently it's called modeling and he actually tells the guy Carl's like, "I thought you said this was supposed to work to establish rapport." And I was just like, why do you need to establish rapport with with Lisbon?
It's the hair, his hand through the hair that really gets me because yeah, Lisbon, like, brushes her hair back, and he doesn't have enough hair to do that motion, but he goes for it.
I love that she like literally just laughs out loud at
Yes,
him.
yes.
she's she thinks he's so ridiculous. But so at the office, they're celebrating. Cho brings in case closed pizza, and he is so happy to announce that there's no pineapple on it. But Jane doesn't want a slice, even though Van Pelt says he has to because it's tradition. So I guess this is like firmly established with their team now that when they close a case, they have to go get pizza and they have to eat it. But he doesn't want it. And Lisbon's like, well, we found the murder weapon in the guy Tiegler's apartment. And I loved that Cho's like, and we got a confession. And I like the low five that him and Van Pelt
Yes,
do. It was so cute,
yes.
right? It's like across the aisle there, he reaches across and I love that. But Jane brings up the blackout. He says that it was weird because why if he was so blackout drunk, did he not wake up in vomit? Instead, he wakes up standing over a dead body with a gun in his hand. And
Uh-huh.
he thinks that it sounds more like he's in a trance and not that he was blackout drunk. And that's when Cho pitches the idea that maybe someone hypnotized him to kill Mary Beth and hypnotize Carl. But so Cho is saying something a little different than what we're thinking. That he's saying that the killer is one person and the hypnotizer is one person, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But they don't know all the facts yet, so. But Lisbon's kind of irritated because apparently she doesn't like that she had to eat the greasy pizza and it was for nothing. I think she can have case closed pizza credits.
Meanwhile, we only see her eat one teeny tiny
I know.
bite.
I didn't eat all that pizza. Literally, you didn't. But I thought it was funny that she calls it greasy pizza, and then right after they show Rigsby sitting down to eat his pizza, and he's dabbing his pizza with a napkin. So that's when Lindsay arrives to collect her sister's effects. And Lisbon tells Rigsby that, or Lisbon tells her that, oh, Rigsby will help you. And he was just about to
Just
eat his
about.
pizza.
Yeah.
he pulls it out of his mouth and
He's
everything.
like, "Wait, no pizza for me?" He looks so sad.
But Jean gets excited that she's here, and he's like, "Oh, do you think that he killed your sister?" And so Lisbon is just like, "Ah, stop it!" And she rushes her to her office, and Jean calls her a control freak, which is where we get our our episode title. And then Rigsby, Lisbon, and Jane head over to the office and they ask her about the guy Rick. And that's when she reveals that the victim really, really didn't like that guy Rick, which explains why she told him no way in hell and that she would go out with him. But she's saying that there's no way he would have opened the door for her. So, or she would have opened the door for him.
Yeah, to go into the apartment.
And Lisbon confirms that her door was undamaged, so he didn't break in. But I didn't really understand if she was framing this guy Tiegler, why would she put this doubt in their mind, right?
Yeah, I wondered that too. It's like, you can see here that she could have gotten away with it. They
Yeah,
had
yeah.
they had a guy arrested that they
We're
could,
celebrating.
had motive and opportunity and was holding the smoking gun, and yeah, I guess
She must have
she
wanted to
needed
play with them a little.
I think she wanted to pivot. She wanted Dr. Daniel to be
Yeah, held
to get
responsible.
yeah, so she had to bring him into it. So I guess she was just feeling confident enough that she could keep playing this game.
See what happens? Should have just played it safe.
She could have been out of it. She could have done it another way. She didn't have to connect anything with Dr. Daniel to this case.
Yeah, yeah. She had to get her sister first. Actually, I mean, when she started it, she says it later. She just wanted to get him. So
Yeah,
she pivots later after the brush off, which has already happened.
right, right.
Oh, okay, okay. But yeah, so she reveals that her sister and Dr. Daniel have been dating, and they're all surprised by this because the guy Dr. Daniel never mentioned this. He said that he didn't really know her personally outside of work, so they were
Mhm.
like wondering. They go outside and they talk about, why would he lie to us?
But
But
it's so wild because he says, we traveled together for work, but they weren't close. I mean, there's a disconnect there. But
yeah,
also, it must have been way down low because Tiegler apparently didn't know about it either.
yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
he was pursuing Mary Beth.
So Lisbon wants him to go pick up Daniel. She sends Rigsby back in to learn more about the relationship between her sister and Daniel. And this is important later because this is where Rigsby gets hypnotized. She starts off by insisting that the guy Daniel would never hurt Mary Beth, which also made me confused because I thought she's supposed to be casting suspicion on him. I guess she's trying to make herself seem, I
Oh
don't
my
know.
goodness.
It's
Oh,
so all over the place.
it is.
This lady is psycho though, so there's that.
Yes, there is that.
So at the center, Van Pelt is bringing Daniel from his office, and he's trying to prod her for information. He's being kind of rude to her. He's like, I guess because she's bringing him in for questioning,
Uh-huh.
and he's just like mad that she's not giving him what he wants. He wants to know what's going on. And so he starts in on her. He's saying that she has the curse of the pretty girl. And he starts to cold read her, saying all these things about her, like speculating that she's been told she's pretty since she was 12 and now she can't bear to hear what women long for. And I was just like, oh my God, this guy. But I mean, he keeps going, even though
He
like she's
does.
she's not really giving him anything. She's like, whatever. And he's like, you're ambitious. You're a girl from Nowheresville trying to make it big. It's just like, I don't know how she kept her cool because, oh my God, I would have been so irritated. I did like that she stands up for herself though here because she's like, I've been working with Patrick Jane for 9 months, so if you want to get under my skin, you're gonna have to up your game. I was like, yeah, Grace, you
Yes.
tell him.
So I was wondering because we get that indication that Jane knows who this guy is,
Yeah,
but does we don't get any indication of the other way that
yeah,
Dr.
yeah,
Daniel was aware and knows about Jane's psychic work.
yeah. But the way that Van Pelt talks, it kind of sounds like maybe he did, maybe it got cut or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because the way she says, "I've been working with Patrick Jane for 9 months," it just kind
Right?
of sounds like something
Yeah.
you would say to someone who is familiar with that
With
guy.
right,
So
right.
like you know his reputation kind of thing. And then why did you point out why do you think she was wearing that giant white trench coat?
I guess it was cold? I don't know. It really
It stood
it's a
out, right?
it yeah, yeah, it does. Because she has it all buttoned up.
Yeah. And they're indoors too.
Right.
So next we go to Cho interrogating Daniel, and he's like in complete denial about the relationship with Mary Beth. And so because he's so firm on this, Lipton suggests that, oh, maybe it's Lindsay is the one who's lying about this relationship. And so at that point, Rigsby says, I'll get him to talk. And he goes in. And this was already kind of out of character for Rigsby, I think,
Yeah.
because usually up until this point, it's been like Cho handles the interrogation, right? So, and he just sounds a lot more confident, I feel like, about his own interrogation skills. And so already, like, I think when I watched it, I was like, uh oh, something's gonna happen. But yeah, so when he denies it again, he literally just grabs him by the hair and just smashes his face into the table until the guy admits that he was in a relationship with the guy. And so obviously this really alarms everybody, and like they like push him out of the room, and Lisbon takes away his gun and badge. And that's when Jane like looks at his eyes and he just determines that he's been hypnotized too. And I thought it was funny. Oh, actually, you noted down that she says, "Oh dear," but Jane says, "Oh dear" too,
He
right?
does. You're right. Yes. I when I watched back, yeah, Jane says, "Oh dear, he's been hypnotized." And then Van Pelt echoes it, but I think it's the way that she says, "Oh dear," sounds very Midwestern to me, like it's the most Iowa she's ever been. "Oh dear," like kinda little old lady Midwestern voice.
That's cute. So next we go to his desk, and Rigsby is denying that he's been hypnotized, and he just looks, he just looks so innocent and, like I said, malleable.
Oh, he plays it perfectly.
Yeah, he does. But like Lisbon is like, has he had a psychotic break?
We need to call the shrink.
But I mean, because earlier Jane had said that you can't go against your true will, and he says that Rigsby does have a brutal streak in him, and it's not uncommon in people who want to be cops, so it's like nothing to be alarmed about. Jane says that hypnotized people are highly suggestible, and you can just practically hear Jane like, "Oh yeah, he's going in for the kill. I'm gonna use this situation and stir up some trouble."
Oh, yeah.
But he tells Ripley to close his eyes and think about what he wants to do most in the whole world. And then, so the Rigsfeld music starts to play here, so you're clued in right away what he's
Yeah.
thinking about without having to be told. But then he tells him to open his eyes and do it. And Van Pelt scoffs and she walks away because he doesn't do anything at first. But then Rigsby gets up and he just kisses her. And I love that, like, Cho is like, oh yeah.
I wanted to note in the script, it says, for the script direction, it says, "This kiss is the longest and sexiest kiss in the history of CBS television."
That's amazing. It was a good kiss. I will say that.
Yeah. I love that, like, Van Pelt doesn't push him away.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Although
yeah.
although once it's done, I thought it was interesting that she goes and scurries and hides behind Jane,
Yes. Yes,
right?
she does kind of realize that, "Oh, that just happened in the middle of the
Yeah.
bullpen."
But it's funny because I feel like she does that because she feels like, "Oh my god, he's hypnotized. I need to go stand behind the guy who can protect me from the hypnotism." It's cute, but he says that he can't, just like the other guy, he says he can't bring him out of it without knowing what his trigger is. And then around this part, Rigby's like, "Oh, I gotta go." And so this is alarming to them because now they know that he's a. I mean, they took away his gun, but at the same time, he's still Rigsby, so they're concerned. But him and Cho like actually physically like
Mhm.
go against each other because he tries to stop him and he pushes him away, and Jane tells Grace to go stop him because he'll listen to her, so she kind of leads him away like a lost puppy to her
Yeah.
desk. Cute. So they go huddle again in her office and they start talking about who did he talk to, because they know that someone must have hypnotized him at some point. I love the little thing when Lisbon tells Jane, "Maybe you were right." He's like, "Oh, no."
This case, I think it's so one of the elements that makes it so fun is that as confusing as it is a very limited suspect pool. Like, they
Yeah,
know it can only
yeah,
be one of 3 people at this point, and, there's not so much to whittle away, but they still manage to make it so overly complicated.
yeah, yeah. Because Cho thinks, "Oh, it must be the guy, Dr. Daniel." But he's like, "Why would he hypnotize him to hit his face
Right?
into a table and break?" Because the guy literally says, "You broke my nose."
And doesn't Cho, like, say that that's not so bad? Like
Does he? That's funny. So next, I don't. Jane wanted to go do something, right? Like, because Lisbon meets Troll outside the courthouse because I guess the guy Tiegler has been let out on bail, so they're upset, and she's gonna go down there to go, uh, I guess, offer him protection, right? Because now that they know
Yeah.
that, now that they suspect that this guy was hypnotized too, they probably think that he's a loose end, so the actual killer is gonna go after him to tie up
Yep.
loose ends. But the guy's gotten himself a fancy lawyer, and when she tells him that he might be in danger, he like doesn't really care. He like especially doesn't want to talk to her. He like lifts up his shirt and shows
I know.
shows him his bruise that he got from her. And then I liked how his like last line to her before he goes into his taxi is, "You have a good day, Agent Lisbon, and try not to bruise anyone." I love that. Oh boy. Which, I mean, fair. She did tackle him and bruise him.
He was running.
So next week, oh, that was Jane's thing. Him and Van Pelt were taking Rigsby to a playground to help him feel safe so that they can break his trance where he feels like no one can hurt him. And Rigsby insists that no one's hurt him, but we find out later that this isn't true, right? With his
Mhm.
backstory. So he does have things in his past where this was probably a good idea on Jane's part, because he says that he has no idea who's hurt him, but he just thinks that there must be someone. So
Yep.
turns out he was right. But yeah, he even gives him a hug. I thought that was cute. Even though Rigsby's like, "Why are you hugging me?"
I think partly the hug was, trying a trigger,
uh,
like, finding a way to get into his personal space a little bit.
yeah,
I think it's interesting. I mean, they're at a playground, so there's, like, kids and families
yeah,
everywhere,
yeah,
and they use the swings as part of the hypnotism,
yeah.
but it's such an uncontrolled environment when things go south that it's just
Hmm.
I wonder at their choice a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of dangerous, right?
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, he once he starts getting into the hypnotism thing, he starts trying to find the trigger. And he actually got pretty close, right? He
Mhm.
actually tapped him on his shoulder, just not in the right place on his shoulder, but he came really close. And but this actually really starts to bother Rigsby. He tells him, "Stop feeling me up." But then, like as he continues, he like begs Jane to stop and says he's got a splitting headache. And I guess they're trying to imply that Lindsay had put these
Yeah.
blockages inside of Rigsby somehow to protect her identity.
Yeah, and to protect the trigger.
Yeah, yeah, but to protect the trigger. Yeah, so he wouldn't figure it out. But like I said, though, he came really close. But like Jane tries to reassure him that this is just a defense mechanism of the hypnosis. But Rigsby breaks away from them and runs off. He almost gets hit by two cars.
Uh-huh. Eee. Yeah, the it's so well directed though, just the horns and the Jane's
Yeah,
reaction. Ooh,
yeah, that could have gone so bad. How do you explain that to Lisbeth? Oh,
right.
Rigsby got sandwiched between two cars.
Whoops. So my plan just kinda didn't go so well.
Went off the rails here. But so they show us Rigsby. I thought it was weird that they didn't even follow him. They just let him go. But he arrives at the center. Oh, actually, it was because of the tracking device. Forgot about that. But
Yep.
Rigsby arrives back at the center and he finds Dr. Daniel, who is tied to his chair, and Lindsay is holding him at gunpoint. So we know now that it's her. We get a flashback to her hypnotizing him. And the guy Royston tries to get control of everybody's trying to get control of Rigsby.
I know.
But she tapes his mouth so that he can't do it. And then next we find him up on the roof. He's pushed the guy Daniel in his chair all the way up to the roof. But I had to wonder, like, did he have to carry him in that chair? Because when you get to the roof, there's not usually like
Elevator all
it,
the
it's
way.
usually it's usually stairs, right, to get to the roof. So yeah, he must. That's why she picked Rigsby, maybe.
Maybe so.
Big guy who can carry another guy in a chair. But yeah, so she does her whole like how I did this. She lays it all out that
Her monologue.
she rented she rented a car to come back to. Oh, so no, actually she does say she killed her
Yeah, so
sister.
okay,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Ah, okay. Yeah, she got her into a car, drove back, killed her sister, drove back, and then caught a flight home. And then I thought it was, and then she starts talking about how like the guy she loves the guy Daniel, and he didn't see her. And Rigsby's like, it's hard when they don't see you, and it's like, oh my
Yes,
god, this is
oh,
this is real Rigsby talking from his
oh,
heart.
yes. But, I mean, also, what did she expect? What did Lindsay expect to happen here? That, he was in a relationship with
Yeah,
the
and
victim
she's
and she
just
died,
died,
and you think you're just gonna
fall
boomerang
into her
and like,
arms.
"Oh, Lindsay, I should have just loved you."
And she's like, and then you told me to go home, and that's when I knew you'd never love me. And I was
I
just like,
don't
lady,
understand.
what the heck is wrong with you?
And it's like, but Daniel would have also been grieving at this point, you would hope.
Yes,
You would
yes,
hope. I mean,
exactly. That's his girlfriend, basically.
yeah.
She's a piece of work. But yeah, she starts talking about like how much she hates her sister because her sister got all the boys and like nobody used to like her and stuff like that. It's like, well, there's something wrong with your personality here, lady. Maybe if you weren't so crazy, you would have gotten some of the boys. It's what's inside.
Mhm.
Ugh. But oh my god, when she turned on Rigsby to get him to like hurt Daniel, wow, she was like really pouring it on. So at that point I was like, wow, she's not without skills to like manipulate people to get what she wants. But he punches the guy Royston Daniel until he's like he I guess he knocks him out because the guy is basically sleeping for the rest of the time on the
Right.
roof.
Yeah.
But she actually makes note of the way that he looks at Grace. So I thought that was interesting. He's made it obvious even to outsiders, I guess. But although when when would she have seen him looking at Grace?
They really only have that one scene in the
In
pizza
the
scene.
bullpen, the pizza, yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Uh
know. I think it breaks down a little bit here.
yeah. There's probably other stuff that we're just never shown, so we'll just have to assume that. So Jane arrives on the roof, and he reveals that he had put a tracking device on in Rigsby's pocket at the park. So I thought this part was funny because all the guns come out.
Yes.
She points her gun at Jane. He's like, "I have a gun too." And this one comes out, and then she's like, "Well, I have another gun," and she brings out Tiegler. And at one point, one of them says, "This is ridiculous." I think it's Jane, right? It's like, "Are you kidding me?"
This scene really feels to me like she's a psychic mastermind with superpowers,
Uh huh.
and this is the big villain monologue part of the story, and it just feels so unreal.
Yeah, because she's got two puppets here trying to kill this one guy that she's mad at because she feels jilted. Uh, but I guess she was mad at her sister because, like we said, she always got the boys, and she was in love with Dr. Daniel, and then she got her sister the job at the center, and then she stole her doctor. Jane told her that even though it seems like she's in control, she's not, and that she's crazy and having a nervous breakdown, which doesn't seem like something you want to say to an unstable individual.
Is Jane trying to influence her here? Like,
I don't know.
his Jedi mind tricks?
I was like, Jane, what are you doing? I guess he's trying
You
to tip her over.
you are having a nervous breakdown.
But that's when she starts telling Rigsby, "Ooh, it's a nice night for a night swim." And she's convinced Rigsby that over the edge of the roof is the ocean. And she wants him to show Daniel the big, beautiful ocean. And Jane, too, which I thought was pretty scary, like at this point, because they're
Yes.
on the roof of the center. So she.
Yes.
And God, the balls on this lady. I mean, Lisbon's right there, and she wants Lisbon's subordinate to throw her consultant and this Dr. Daniel
Yes.
guy off the. What's she gonna do after that?
Yes, I think it and Jane does point it out at one point, like, you realize you're gonna have to kill everybody who's up here
Yeah,
to you could just stop now. We'll figure it out.
but at the same time, you have to wonder, like, I don't know. She seems like she's capable. She's willing.
True.
But yeah, so Rigsby pulls Daniel to the edge, and like he like almost like he like grabs Jane and like takes him to the edge, and it's about to like makes like he's gonna push him off. And but to Rigsby's credit, he fights her here. He doesn't want to do it, although I think part of it is his fear too, because Jane counters it with, "There's sharks down there."
Yes.
And
Brilliant move.
yeah, Rigsby looks scared. He's like, "What, sharks?" But yeah, they really battle to control him, and then she slips up by holding out her hand just over his shoulder, like she's what do you think she was gonna do though? Because her triggering him out of it would have lost her control, right?
Right,
Or
which I think she realized that she wanted to the touch
uh huh,
to connect them, to have a stronger connection,
uh
but
huh,
then she realized that, "Oh, I can't touch him on the shoulder because that will bring him out." So that's what Jane noticed, was that she hesitated going for the shoulder because that would break the contact.
yeah.
So then he went for the shoulder.
He looks really scared though at this point.
Oh, yes. Yes, that mood shifts very quickly.
Yeah, because I think he realizes, oh my God, Rigsby is pro- legitimately might throw me off this roof, right?
Yes. Yeah,
And so
yeah.
he's like really eager to, oh, it's a shoulder, and he like taps him right away, like desperate to to pull him out of it. It's one of those close calls that gets Jane really rattled. Because yeah, I mean, after they handcuff everybody, he's like out of breath, and he's just like, he looks really like, oh, that was close.
Yes, one of the very rare moments where Jane breaks his mask because
Yeah.
he is in real danger.
Meanwhile, I thought Lisbon looked a little too cool. Like she was a cool cucumber. Like the Rigsby's like got him by the jacket and he's like ready to throw him off. And
Yeah.
Lisbon's just standing there like, ah,
Yeah. She probably, it was pretty distracting at that moment. She probably could have subdued the other
Ziggler.
gunman and yes, subdued Tigler and maybe like, shot Rigsby in the leg or something or maybe not something that drastic, but she could have
Helped or something.
helped.
Instead, she's
Help.
just
Yes.
staring at them like, what's going on? Was
I
she
got a gun pointed
hypnotized
at me.
too?
I can't help you. Sorry.
You know what she's doing? She's looking at, oh my god, this is going to be so much paperwork. That's all she can think about.
At this point, she doesn't even want to survive because
Yeah.
it'll be all the paperwork.
She's imagining all the yelling she's going to get from Minelli.
She's gonna get it anyway at this point.
Ah, okay, so the last scene is in the break room. Rigsby is all like, "Oh yeah, I got the lady, the crazy lady." I like that Cho's like, "Yeah, you got 100-pound woman." And even Lisbon's giving him crap about it. But I mean, Jane gives him some credit. He says anyone can be hypnotized, and that Lindsay was very good. And I thought it was interesting that Lisbon says that Rigsby got cleared by the professional standards unit. So was this the first mention of the PSU?
I think so.
I don't remember us hearing about them before, but yeah, that comes back later. But he was cleared for assaulting Dr. Janyo. Although I don't know, I would have thought that the guy Dr. Janyo would have pressed charges. But I guess maybe if he's a hypnotist, he understands better than anyone that, it's
Yeah.
possible.
Oh, it's so crazy.
Van Pelt asks him, he's like, so you remember nothing from the 2 days? And he says, only fragments. And when he sees the way that they're looking at him, he's like, oh God, what did I do? And Van Pelt's like, oh, you were perfectly normal. And she walks away. And then Jane calls him a coward. And Cho and Lisbon are like, oh, he remembers. It's such a cute scene. I love the team establishment here because
Yes.
it just makes him sound it just makes him seem really close. Just the way that
Yes.
they tease each other so much in this episode. I like that.
Yeah, this scene and the pizza scene are both just so
Yeah.
good.
And it's only been 9 months too, as Van Pelt mentions.
Right?
I mean, they've been working with Jane longer, but Van Pelt is the
Yes.
last person to join. Okay, cold reading. At what point does Jane crack the case?
I think well, we talked about it a little bit earlier too, that, they don't have very many suspects here at
Yeah.
all. So but it does feel like it takes longer than some of
Mm-hmm.
the other cases
Mm-hmm.
just because of how complicated they made it. And there's so many red herrings and so many people with motive, like they could all have done
Yeah.
it. So I'm not sure when he would have put it together would be when Rigsby was hypnotized.
I don't know. I mean, did he not figure it out until he got to the rooftop and saw who it was?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Hot reading. Karen's got a bunch of stuff to dig up.
Oh, yes. So I remembered an interview. This is Simon Baker in 2018. He was on his tour promoting Breath,
Hmm.
which had just come out or was about to come out in the United States. So he went on a talk show called Watch What Happens Live, and they had a segment with audience questions. And someone asked him, was there ever a moment in The Mentalist when you thought it jumped the shark? And first he just says, yes. And like the host has to ask him, well, what scene are you thinking of? Right. And he says, one point where someone dragged a sack of human bones into the Central Bureau of Investigative Crime.
Wait, he said it like that?
Yes, right through the metal detector and everything. I mean, this would have been 10 years after they filmed this
Yeah,
episode,
yeah.
but he was thinking, "Come on, guys, where are we going here? How many years do you want this show on? How many weeks?" Like, he thought. And I was like, just looking back at that, it's like, this was from the 1st season. You think they jumped the shark in the 1st season and then made it
Yeah,
all the way to
yeah,
season 7? Like, I think they did okay.
yeah. And he says a sack of bones, but it was actually a
Right.
person.
Yeah, and the Central Bureau of Investigative Crime.
But actually, Tim and Owen actually talked about this on the episode that of the TV Police that I was on. They talked about like short term memory and how
Yeah,
hard it is to retain information, and I feel that because I think I've mentioned before on the show that I'm an editor, so like I go through so many books throughout the year that like after I get like maybe 2 months past something I've worked on, I like have my brain like purges it, you know? And
totally.
someone will if somebody comes back and says, "Well, what did you think about this plot point? What if I change this?" I'm just like, uh I just work on so many things that it's hard to plus I watch so much TV. There's only so much stuff I can
So
cram
much.
into my head, right?
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah, it's not too surprising to me how Simon responded or how he couldn't get all the details right.
yeah.
Because, I mean, it
Yeah.
had been 10 years and he kinda distances himself from previous
Yeah.
projects. So, but that makes it all the more surprising to me, like, when you get Tim and Owen, who seem to remember everything,
Yeah.
and they were
Yeah.
on the same show at the same time. I think it's great. Just a few deleted kinda moments from that were in the script that didn't make it into the episode. In the opening scene, we've got the lady in red, but Jane also gives some cold reading for other people in the room. So he just kinda does a quick, like, hiding a terminal illness, about to propose to her girlfriend, and about to quit his job. That or kill his boss,
Ouch.
which makes me really wonder, like, who are these people
I
that
know,
he
for real.
'Cause if they work at the CBI and they wanna kill their boss, that we kinda need
Yeah,
to
that's a
figure that out.
problem. Time to talk to HR about that guy.
Right. Also, in the what we see on in the episode, Carl has his hand in his pocket
Yeah.
at the beginning, thinking you might have a gun, and so the team gets that's one of the reason why the team draws their
Draw their
guns,
guns.
because they think he might be about to kill people. So in the script, Carl doesn't pull his hand out of his pocket, and the
Mm,
only reason the CBI team doesn't shoot him is because Jane steps in and blocks their shot
mm,
because he feels like something else is going on.
yeah.
There was a fun little bit when she's with Carl, watching the NLP presentation.
The one given by
Um,
Rick?
yes, yes, the Tiegler's giving, and he's saying, "Are you ready?" And the crowd's yelling, "Yes!" In the script, she's almost about to join in and yell with the crowd.
That's funny.
And then another little fun bit when Tiegler is talking to Lisbon and saying that, "You threw me down a marble staircase," and she says, "I didn't throw you down a staircase yet."
To be fair, she did not because he was
No,
running up, he tripped and fell, and she jumped on him.
right.
Right? So yeah, he's being a drama queen. Okay, rewatch checklist. Jismin moments. So we didn't really see any here because this was a Riggs Pilled episode, so it was focused on them. I didn't really see any repeated locations. No addition to the punch list. Suit watch. This one was kind of hard. I had to go by Lisbon's outfits and his shirts. But yeah, suit watch. I think I picked out four. There's a matching gray suit with a light blue shirt. That's at the beginning when they're going to the CBI. There's a matching dark gray suit with a light gray shirt. That's later when they're talking to Lindsay, I think. He's wearing a navy blue suit with a gray vest and a light blue shirt with white stripes. And then finally, a matching dark gray suit and a light blue shirt with dark blue stripes. So I often have to look at his shirts too. So cheat watch, no addition to that. Wow, it's been two whole episodes and no cheating. Good job, California. Revenge watch. This I don't think we can add this one to revenge watch. This is more just like jealousy, vindictive sister. Not really revenge. No additions to the Regon timeline. No additions to Lisbon watch. And Karen, any update on the badge? Because
Let me where does
she
she
shows
show
it.
it?
She shows it
Um,
to Daniel when they first go to talk to him when he's starting his seminar.
she moves it so fast.
Okay, that's okay. We can just make it an unknown. No update on this one.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to our brand new segment, Jane's Meter. This one is dedicated to our bullpen friend, Expanse Lover. So I sent her some screenshots. My rating on this one is actually 7. His hair actually looks pretty good, but I gave it a 7 based on the fact that his hair actually looks better in other episodes, I think. So yeah, that's why I gave it a 7. Still high,
Okay.
but
Okay. Yeah, I gave it an 8 based on one particular shot, which I didn't see the shots that you picked out. But there was one shot where I was like, "Oh yeah, that's an 8."
I will say that when he's in the park with Rigsby, his hair looks more like a 8.
Yeah.
Looks really good there. Okay, so we're gonna have Expanse Lovers Hairnalysis. That's what we're calling it. Oh, she just got back to me. She gives him a 9 in this episode.
Woo.
Okay, so her hair analysis is in all three scenes, this is classic Jane in professional mode hair. The curls are front and center, with curls around his ears and almost touching his collar. In the first photo, they're almost under control because he is in control. Wow, this is getting really in depth. She says the curls sweep up and away from his face in that confident manner, not tousled or disturbed. The second photo shows Jane as he's attempting to figure out how deep Rigsby is under, so the hair is similar to the first photo. But in the third photo, he's clearly on edge, trying to assist Rigsby and the team, so the curls are a little more chaotic. And there is also a bit of wind as they are outside. the, atten- the attention to detail here, oh my goodness. But he is confident in his ability to help in some concrete way, so there is nothing out of control about him. I would give his hair a solid 9.6 based on the
Oh
styling.
wow.
Oh, 9.6. The curls around the ears, and it's almost touching his collar. This is a prime example of why I adore season 1 hair. Signed, Dr. Expanse Lover.
I love it.
Ah,
So this
good
implies
stuff.
to me that there was a continuity person in charge of styling his hair in response to what we see on the screen, like what he's like it's hair acting.
That's a really good actor.
Is-
Okay, favorite lines. What is yours, Karen?
oh, I've got Jane on the roof saying, "Oh, I have a gun too, Lisbon."
Listen, it's his gun. Mine is from Cho at the end when he tells Rigby, "Yeah, you took down 100-pound woman, but in context, you did good."
For Cho Zinger of the Week, I picked that opening segment where he says potatoes to cops. Potatoes. Not donuts, potatoes.
Cho
He's
is so disappointed.
just trying to understand. Why did you bring me potatoes and think it's a gift?
Okay, we're gonna take a quick break and then we'll come back with our new Memory Palace quiz. All right, we're back. We have a new Memory Palace quiz for you. And the way this works is I'm going to ask Karin 5 questions of increasing difficulty plus a bonus question about the episode we just discussed. And you'll have 5 seconds to come up with an answer. Are you ready?
All right, let's do it.
Okay. Question 1. What is Carl's job?
He's a salesman.
Of what?
Car salesman?
Oh, there you go. Good job.
Woo.
Question 2. Jane says that trying to bring someone out of a trance without knowing the trigger is like playing what in the Atlantic?
Marco Polo.
Oh, good one. Okay, question 3. What kind of pizza did Cho order instead of pineapple pizza?
It looked like cheese.
Yeah, it was just a cheese pizza. I was like, oh my god, that's so plain.
What?
Not even pepperoni. All right, getting hard now.
Okay.
Question 4. How many minutes does Cho interview Royston Daniel before Rigsby goes in?
Oh, it's like 24?
23! Oh, you were so
23.
close.
Oh, cool. It's such a funny throwaway line. Like,
I know.
Van Pelt's like, it's been 23 minutes now. He hasn't changed his story.
Okay, question 5. What is the title of Royston Daniel's book?
Oh,
It's such a typical self-help title, too.
right? I'm sure it is. Like the one thing I didn't pay attention to. I don't know.
It's Achieving Goals Now. Okay, bonus question. Who is really worried he sings when hypnotized? He mentions it twice.
Yeah. Tina Turner.
Yeah, there you go. Woohoo! So you got total of 4 points.
Woohoo!
Any last thoughts? It was a fun episode. I like this one.
It is. It's a lot. I think it's fun having the focus on the hypnotism and the
Mm.
it's funny to me thinking about that these people are just hanging out in Sacramento this whole time.
Yeah. I like the kiss. That was a good kiss.
Yeah.
And it really propelled like that whole storyline with them. Yeah. It's a good progression. And I like the crap that they give to Rigsby at the end.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
So like I like that because Jane calls him a coward, and they're like they leave it up in the air whether he remembers, and then they focus on his face to kind of like show like what he's thinking.
He
So he kind of seems
and
to like think a little bit and remember, but
well, Jane, touches his shoulder, he does the trigger again too,
oh,
and then you have just kinda that flash on Rigsby's face.
I didn't notice that. Interesting. Huh. Okay. Well, if you're enjoying Rom-Com Detectives, please consider taking a minute to leave us a rating or review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. If you're on Spotify, Reddit, or YouTube, leave us a comment answering our question of the week by telling us whether you think Grigsby is a coward or not. Does he remember his kiss with Van Pelt? If you'd like to join additional conversations about The Mentalist, you can visit the Mentalist subreddit at reddit.com/r/The Mentalist, and you can join the Mentalist Bullpen Discord server linked in the sidebar. To contact me and Karin, email us at host@romcomdetectives.com. You can follow us on Instagram, Blue Sky, or Threads at romcomdetectives. For our next episode, we're going to be breaking down A Dozen Red Roses. So if you'd like to ask us a question or tell us your own thoughts about that one, you can leave us a voicemail or text message at 1-650-733-XOXO or 9696. This episode of Rom-Com Detectives was recorded on November 25th, 2025. Rom-Com Detectives Mentalist Unit is co-hosted by Crystal Watanabe and Karin Lubbers and is produced by Pico's House. Thanks for listening!
Bye.
And don't forget to catch this week's episode of TV Police. Bye, everybody.